All right, welcome back to the show. All right, thanks to the lovely and talented Leslie Visser for joining us here on the program. Big fan of this gentleman, Leslie is, as well as all of us, and having a remarkable season with his Hurricane basketball team. We welcome to the show, and it's always a pleasure to have the great
Dismantle Knowles.
Jim Larranaga join us here. Jim, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Defo. I hope your show is very popular. People are listening in. I love Leslie Visser. She's been a great friend for a very long time.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I mean, and a huge college basketball advocate. I mean, maybe second only to Dick Vitale in overall passion for college hoops, and a lot of interesting experiences covering all those Final Fours, which we hope you are ticketed for. Certainly,
Yes.
if all the fans saw was the first half, especially of that game against FSU. I don't know if you borrowed anything in the pregame speech from the late great Vitas Garelitis when he was talking about how he had lost like 17 straight times to Jimmy Connors. And he said nobody beats Vitas Garelitis 18 times in a row after he won the match. But you had a little streak going of negativity there against Florida State. And I don't know. I mean, how much was that on your mind, Jim? Did you give it the old Bobby Knight? I'm sick and tired of losing to Purdue, or how did that go?
Okay, first of all, do you think I know who Vitas Gerolitis is?
New York tennis star. Yeah. I mean, Huntington Beach.
Think I know who he is or not?
I believe you do. I believe you probably played ball against him. You might have even taken a set from him back in the day.
Okay, he went to my high school.
Of course he did.
Oh, great. Of course. Yeah. There you go.
He went
Eddie
to
Malloy. Yeah, he was
high
my
school
favorite
in
rival in
Queens.
basketball. Yeah, that was beautiful.
He was my favorite tennis player for a long time.
That's so great.
Great.
He
Yeah.
unfortunately passed away at a very young age,
Yes.
but he was great. And yes, I use Vitas's motivational expression. I told the guys,
That's great.
no, nine is enough. That's
Yeah.
it. We're stopping this tonight. And we were off to the races as soon as the tip. We were running and gunning, and 54 points in the first half, and we already had 14 assists. We were shooting lights out from three. Nigel Pack got us off to a great start. Wooga
Yeah.
Papa had his game in the ACC, and Isaiah Wong started to feel better during the game. And he's been dealing with a sinus infection and having a very hard time breathing. And the end result is, he struggled against Duke, but he was able to bounce back against Florida State.
Yeah, that Duke game was a tough one. And of course, I'm still cringing watching this guy bank in a 45-footer there, a buzzer beater for 3 points that obviously turned out to be very significant in the outcome of that game. Did you do it? I thought right away when Nigel Pack lined up that first, I mean, he had to be 30 feet from the basket. He goes Steph Curry on you. And I think it was like 4-1 Florida State at the time. Did you install the Coke machine at the practice facility? 'Cause that was from the Coke machine, Coach. And I was thinking, all right, they just bouncing off a loss here, and this guy he is fearless at putting that up. How good did you feel? Because it looked like the stroke was right on the money there, and he made a few of them early in the game and help you guys open up a big lead.
Here's what I've said, that the ACC regular season is a marathon, and you travel. We play 10 road games and 10 at home. But this is a week where we have 3 straight road games. First at Duke, then at Florida State, and we leave tomorrow for Pittsburgh. So in order to conserve some energy and have the juice on Tuesday against Florida State, we decided before the season started, let's fly from Durham to Tallahassee and get a practice at Florida State, get comfortable with the surroundings, and see if that helps. And so we played Duke on Saturday, flew to Tallahassee on Sunday, took Sunday off. We just rested, watched some video from our Duke game, and then on Monday we got over to their facility and practiced and had a very good 1 hour, hour and a half practice. And I think the guys felt very, very comfortable. They got to shoot the Florida State basketball. What's interesting about college basketball is schools all have their own basketball. Some are Nike, some are Adidas, some are Under Armour. so you got to get used to the basketball on the opponent's home court. And so we were able to do that. And I think Nigel Pack just felt very good going into the game that he was shooting the ball well. And he came out on fire. And that kind of ignited the rest of the guys. Jordan Miller made a three early. Wugapopla made a couple. And then Isaiah caught fire. He and Nigel ended up both with 18 points for the game. And we were on a path to score over 100, but we really slowed down in the second half. We turned the ball over too much, but still were able to win by 23, the most point differential in the rivalry's history.
Coach, it's funny. It feels like so many people forgot that UM made it to the Elite Eight last year. I know you guys didn't. How important was that experience for this team? Because it felt like it feels often one season to the next or two different stories, but it hasn't felt like that for you guys. Like it feels like that run just continued into the season. You guys haven't stopped since.
Well, I thank you for saying that. You know, I'd like to think there's some truth to it, but also this is a new team.
Yeah.
You know, Nigel Pack is new. Norshad O'Meara is new. You know, the sophomores, Bensley Joseph and Wugapopla are really in different roles this year than they were last year. You know, last year they backed up, you know, Charlie Moore and Cam McGusty. Now they're basically both starters, you know, and they play starter minutes. They get to make the plays that win the game. And so with Jordan Miller returning, Isaiah Wong returning, we've got a good nucleus of players, some from last year, some new guys. So very, very happy with where we are, but we still got a long ways to go. As I said, our schedule is brutal right now. We play at Pittsburgh. We come back home and play Virginia Tech, who just beat Duke, and then we play Duke again. Ugh. So we hope the students will keep coming out and our fans will keep coming out and cheering on this team because it makes a big difference at home here.
Jim Larranaga, head coach of the University of Miami basketball team, on with us here on the Defo show. One thing, and we were talking yesterday with Dusty May, who was writing a nice little story there at FAU with the 18-game winning streak, and kind of, I don't know that he's coming out of nowhere with this, but he's mowed down Florida and a couple of other schools that he was an assistant at. And I thought of you when I was speaking with him because, I'm watching the Hurricanes play. Those guys are really in sync with each other and seem to be having a good time playing with each other. And, you have this interesting mix where obviously they're in tune with fundamentals and know how to play the style of defense that you're looking for. But they're having a good time out there, which is more relatable to, say the modern day athlete that isn't taking everything as seriously except during the time when they're on the court and wants to have a good time and play an up-tempo game of basketball. Not an easy balance to accomplish, but I mean, you've done that with this team, and they look like they really enjoy playing with each other, which you don't always see.
Well, I definitely agree with you, people. These guys really enjoy playing basketball. They really enjoy playing with each other, and we have kind of a unique style. You know, last year we were small ball. This year we're smaller ball. But I was on Instagram. I kind of follow up players and what is posted, and I saw a quote by Jay Wright, the great coach of Villanova, retired last year. He was talking about the year they won the national championship and they beat North Carolina, hitting a game-winning shot. Chris Jenkins hit a NBA three for the win. But he was talking about attitude, and he just said, we had such a great attitude. The players were all for one and one for all. There was no ever complaining, no criticizing of each other. And when Carolina made a three to go ahead by two, or to actually tie the game, I'm not sure what the score was, but Villanova's players walked over to the bench chanting one word. And to me, it's very, very impressive. They were chanting attitude, attitude, attitude. We've got to have a great attitude right now. And they did. They were very positive. They didn't complain to each other. How'd you let that guy get the three? We can't give up the three. And as an end result, they go into the last possession. They only have 5 seconds to score, and they run a play to perfection and make the shot for the win. But everything that we do at Miami involving our basketball program begins with a positive attitude. We want everybody associated with our program, coaches and players, have a positive attitude, not to complain, not to make excuses. And that's what you see on the court. These guys are playing their hearts out for each other.
The great Jim Larranaga with us, and the Canes continue their fine season with a road game against Pittsburgh after just a dominating performance against Lubie's Florida State Seminoles. Opened up 20-something early and maintained that throughout. All right, I thought of you last night. I watched this program many times now and catch it in different segments. The New York Point Gods on Showtime. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen this, and I believe you told us that you did. Oh, okay. And but you did, I think, at one time tell us, did you not play some Rucker Park basketball during your days as a high school phenom in New York City?
No, I never played at Rucker. But of course, I was very familiar with guys who played at Rucker and played against them, like Dr. J. He's the one playing against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I played against great players throughout my high school days and college days. Rucker Park is, legendary for, players who you never heard of coming out of the woodwork, and Herman the helicopter, guys like that, who I don't know if you know the name Earl Manigault.
Sort of rings a bell, yeah.
So he was a playground legend. He's not a player you knew from college because he didn't go. I don't think he went to college.
Yeah.
But a lot of great players. I played against one guy named Louis LaSalle. Everybody called him Tito. He was from Rice High School. I think he went to St. Jude's Elementary School. I played against him in elementary school, and we matched up against each other in high school. And my team played against his team in the New York City semifinals, and he was so good. He led his Rice team to the city championship that year. They beat us in the semifinal, and I was like, man, that guy's going to be a pro. And as it turned out, he had issues off the court that prevented him from even making it as a college player. So, everybody's journey is different. In his case, it took him in a bad path, and unfortunately, whereas Dr. J, his college career helped vault him into being a first-round draft pick of the ABA and one of the greatest players of all time.
It's legendary stuff, and we always appreciate it when you come back and talk about your experiences there in New York. All right, great. Got off the Vitas Carolinas thing, knocked out Florida State in that ball game. That was great. Good luck against Pittsburgh, Jim. Always a pleasure. Thanks so much for taking time to be with us here on the show.
Oh, always my pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Coach, you're the best.
All right, thanks a lot, Jim Larranaga, ladies and gentlemen.